I'm Mike Robinson from Farming the Wild, and now in association with FORLOH, I'm bringing you some amazing, quick, easy recipes, hints and techniques for using your wild game at its very, very best. In this episode, I'm going to be taking the haunch that I broke up in a previous episode, and I'm going to be turning it into an amazing jerky. But the jerky I'm doing is not going to be a traditional, perhaps, jerky. It's going to be quite Asian. It's going to have influences of fresh ginger and chili and soy and etc. And we're going to smoke it, then we're going to dehydrate it. Great way to use a ham or a haunch of deer, particularly if you've killed a buck in the rut and it's a little bit tense and there's a lot of testosterone in there. And you might think, well, I'll eat the back straps, but the hams I'll just grind. Well, rather than grinding them, try making them into jerky. It needs a couple of pieces of equipment, one of which really is a dehydrator. These are a couple of $100 now on Amazon and they're amazing. And I also use my Traeger, which I love because I want to get some smoke into it. Okay, let's make a start. So here we have a ham that weighed about 5 or 6 pounds off a 2-year-old male fallow deer in this case. And I'm going to make sure my knife is nice and sharp before I start. Oh yeah. And I'm going to start cutting some nice thin strips out of my meat. Now, you must remember with jerky that when it's dehydrated, it will have lost 4/5 or so of its volume. So when you think, oh, that's a bit thick, actually that will make amazing jerky because you want it to have a hint of softness in the center. So it's not like a strip of tree bark. Okay, so I'm going to cut it like that. There's the thickness I'm after. Oh, you beauty. Couple of those in your pocket when you're out hiking, deer stalking, hunting, camping is all the sustenance you need. It's pure protein with no fat. It's an excellent energy boost and it's incredibly delicious. And of course, you can literally keep it in your pocket or your pack because it's completely safe and inert. If you have to cut the last bit like this, put your hand flat so the knife can travel under it without cutting you. Lovely, lovely. Look at those pieces of venison. A normal size food dehydrator will do pretty much exactly one of these hams in a go. So what I tend to do is do 2 hams at a time, and that makes an amazing amount of jerky. While one's marinating, one can be drying. While one's smoking, the other one can be in the dehydrator, so you can rotate it. And you can also use the same brine. So once you've brined the first lot and got it in, then you can just put that meat straight into the brine you used for the first one. It's just efficient and a good use of time. Right, so slicing up our meat, now we're going to look at making the marinade. I've made lots of different marinades over the years, but it starts with a few ingredients. First of all, black pepper. I'm going to put loads of black pepper, and I put all of this into the marinade, and then it will all be evenly around the meat. Tons and tons of it. You can get a jar of already ground pepper, but it doesn't taste as good. Grinding it yourself, you're releasing it fresh, those oils and flavors. Salt. Now I'm going to use a good amount of salt. I'm going to do it by eye, but in this case, it's going to be about 3/4 of a cup of good flaky sea salt. It's delicious, high quality salt, this. So that's my salt and my pepper. Now, I like to counteract the saltiness of the salt with something sweet. And in my field just across from here, I've got my honeybees. I've got 6 hives and colonies of honeybees, and they gave me a good amount of honey last year. So I'm going to use some of that honey in place of sugar. A lot of people will use brown sugar. So in it goes. I'm going to put three spoons of honey. Yummy. Next, I'm going to use some red wine vinegar. This is a sort of homage to South Africa, where they call jerky biltong, and it's a funny one really, because it is slightly different, but in South Africa the predominant flavour is almost always coriander seeds, cilantro seeds. I'm not going to use that this time because I want that Asian influence, and that's happening now. In goes some really good quality soy sauce. Now, of course, that's salty as well, which is why I put so much honey in. Half a cup of soy sauce. And now sriracha, because I like jerky to have a bit of chili to it. So good old sriracha. Oh yeah, that's going to be really spicy. Mix it well. You want to dissolve the salt crystals. And then finally, I've got here a lovely lump of ginger, and I'm going to grate fresh ginger into this. And that is an amazing and fantastic flavour in its own right. So that's my pickle done. Oh, it's really delicious. It's tangy. It reminds me of sushi. It's really good. And I'll let that infuse while I just slice up the rest of my meat. And then in a moment, we'll get it all packed, layered, and we'll get it marinating. I want to leave it marinating for about 4 hours. And that will allow the salt and the honey and everything else to work its way in, break open the cellular structure of the meat, and start extracting all that water from the cells, which will then allow it to take the smoke in the Traeger and make it dry much faster and better. Now, before I get this in the pickle, there's a last thing I like to add, and you can get this anywhere on the internet, and that's miso paste. It's umami miso. It's amazing. It's just got this depth of flavour that covers all the spectrums, and it's great in jerky. So I'm going to take like a big tablespoon of this rather yicky looking paste. My hands are clean, and I'm going to rub it into this meat. So I'm going to get my hands in all that meat. I'm going to make sure that all of it's had a nice rub with miso, which, as I say, has got this wonderful umami delicious flavour. And by rubbing it directly into the meat, it doesn't quite get lost in the pickle. Okay, so now I like to use like a metal tray like this, and I'm going to lay the strips of venison in it, separating them out so they're even. Okay, now a ladle of the pickle. It's pretty punchy, this pickle, and carry on. It smells so good. It smells vinegary, salty. I can smell the honey. I can definitely smell the gorgeous miso. It's going to be incredibly delicious. And it is a really good jerky. And I tend to make, as I say, a couple of haunches at a time's worth of this, because that gives me a good month of gnawing away. And if you're on a diet trying to lose weight and you have a problem with snacking, then wild venison jerky is the greatest snack you can eat, because it is very low in fat, it is very high in protein, it's got very little cholesterol. So if you'd normally have a candy bar or a bag of chips or something like that, don't do that. Grab a stick of jerky or two, take them on your journey with you. When you get peckish, gnaw on that. You're getting protein, you're getting vitamins, I beg your pardon, and it's really, really yummy. Okay, I'm now just going to rub in all of this, make sure that everything is coated in that gorgeous cure. And we're going to leave that for 4 hours. It doesn't even need to be in the fridge, just in a cool place for 4 hours. And when we come back, it will have changed colour, it'll have stiffened up, there'll be more liquid because a lot of the juice in the venison will have been sucked out, and it will be ready to go into the Traeger for its quick 1 hour smoke before dehydrating. So my beautiful venison haunch has been curing in the pickle now for a total of 6 hours, and it's a really good time. You can cure it for as little or as much as you want, but if you see, the meat has got much firmer, it's darkened up in colour, and now we're going to just lay it out on the racks to go in our dehydrator. Here we go. Now you can smoke this first if you want in the Traeger, but dark outside and pouring with rain, so I'm just going to dry this. It's going to be amazing. And these we're going to let go overnight, and then in the morning we'll pull them out and see what we've got, and it will be absolutely delicious. I've been munching on the first batch I made a couple of days ago for most of today, and it's just the best snack in the world. And it's super healthy. It's a great gift for your friends if you want to give friends a gift for Christmas. A bag of made jerky from the deer that you harvested. What a treat for somebody. So, as I say, after 6 hours in the pickle, I'm going to put them in my dehydrator. This is a really good one, sous vide tools. It's got 6 racks and a little drip tray at the bottom. Tiny, doesn't take up a lot of room. And I just slide these in. Shut the door. On. Temperature, I want these to do at 45 degrees Celsius, which equates to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And the time is 10 hours, and that's just perfect. So what that'll do is it'll run for 10 hours, it'll turn itself off, by which time it'll be 4 o'clock in the morning. And then when I come down tomorrow morning, I'll check it. If I think it's a little soft, I'll give it another hour. Otherwise, I then take it out, air temperature, give it a few more hours to dry out. And we'll see how this one is, but I've got here the last batch that I made. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous, fantastic. You can sort of see the light through it, and man, that's good. Just chew away on that for hours. Tasty, filling, delicious. Lasts forever. Wild venison jerky, one of the best things you can do with a ham. Totally delicious, easy to make. I love this particular marinade, the Asian style. Just gorgeous. Be sure to tune in next time for my next Farming the Wild and FORLOH little cookery lesson.